How's you doing, YouTube? How's you doing? Listen, I'm gonna be reacting to the fight at the San Gennaro Festival. It's about Hootie Russo. The bottom line is Gene Barillo and Joey Skinny Merlino have been going back and forth online. Gene Barillo has an ankle monitor and he's on house arrest, I believe, so he can't even really go out of the state. So what he did was, he sent Hootie to go check Snuff and Merlino, right? I'll give you my reaction in a little bit. I'm basically just want to show you guys what happened, give you the breakdown a little bit. Hootie went there to confront Joey Merlino and Snuff, and this is basically the gist of what happened.
Let's get to 1,000. Let's get to 1,000. Come on. Let's get to 1,000. Let's get to 1,000. Keep bringing them in. Keep bringing them in. It's a no show. I'm Joey Merlino. Get the fuck out of here. Welcome to fucking cream puff. You guys got fucking gangbang by the Jets. Come on, you fucking turd. Lucky I'm not mistaken, monitor. Come on. Come on. 726. Let's front and center, baby. Front and center. They got a ton of kids with them. It's all right. Where? They brought you all in. Okay. They're here still. Where? Where are they? Oh, you want to jump into them?
To me, that looks like the tall dude that Joey Merlino hangs out with. And there was another black kid that was around him. That's just...
Come on, man. Get the phone back. Let's go. Let's see what the fuck is going on here. Come on.
Nah, that's crazy. That was it? Let me see something. I thought that was, that couldn't have been it. That must have... Well, then again, the video was only for a minute and 27 seconds. But, hold on. But, yeah, so, listen. I want to give a breakdown of what happened, from my perspective. Listen, from my perspective, right? If Joey Merlino told this dude, right, he's already aware that Gene's not coming. That's number one. So he doesn't have to worry about the threat of two, even though it's not, you know what I mean? Because, listen, these guys are going to their stand, right? Forget that it's in New York, blah, blah, blah. Joey's not going to, he's not going to be outgunned anywhere he goes, right? He's always going to have people, there to, protect and watch out and blah, 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 right? So, Hootie, to me, earned my respect. Because here, this kid's going all the way, right, to somebody else's stand, knowing there's going to be probably, 50 people out there protecting Joey and Snuff, right? So, the only thing, I lost a lot of respect for Joey Merlino, and here's why. Joey Merlino, right, and Snuff, because Snuff was shaking his head, yes, and, yeah, they're going to be ready, blah, 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 right? Joey Merlino was supposed to basically confront Hootie. because he knew Gene Barella wasn't going, right? So, because Gene Barello's on house arrest, or he couldn't leave the Florida region, right? So he knew Hootie was the one that was going up there, right? So they were waiting for Hootie, right? So why couldn't Merlino and Snuff confront Hootie? Why would he have to send the mule, and why would he have to send the black dude, right? And that other big dude that he hangs out with. I forgot the kid's name, but I see him all the time in the videos. I look like him. It looked like that dude that's always with Snuff and Merlino, always at the cheesesteak. It's almost like he was the tall one, so he was the observer. He was looking to see who was coming, making sure that Hootie didn't have nobody with him. Listen, Hootie earned my respect, man. He came there with his own set of balls, right? He didn't use nobody else's balls like Merlino did. Merlino used other people's balls. You know what I mean? He didn't walk with his own balls. Here, this guy Merlino's got the advantage, right? He knew Hootie was coming by himself for the most part, right? He couldn't step up there with Snuff and confront Hootie like a man instead of being a weasel. That's a weasel, bro. That's a weasel. I don't care, you could say rat this, rat that, blah, 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 right? Listen, if you tell somebody to meet you that you're gonna be there, right? And you're giving your word as a man that, yo, come here. I'm gonna be here. Me and Snuff are gonna be here. We're at the, we got our own stand, right? So Hootie's going in this guy's basically backyard, in not in the sense of the city, in the sense that he's got his stand set up there. He's got all his people right there, right? So here Merlino's got the advantage, right? He knew he's got the overseers, right? So he's got the lookouts. They're all looking out for this Hootie guy. And Hootie, no offense, isn't that hard not to know who it is. He's got a distinct look, right? I'm not saying he's a good looking dude, I'm not saying, whatever, but he's a big dude, right? So you can see who's coming, right? It's not like he's going to blend in with somebody, right? So they have an idea. They have an idea who's who, right? Right? So Merlino couldn't confront Hootie with Snuff and be like, hey, what's up, man? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, this shit is just wild to me, I would love to hear Merlino's aspect. And you know what? A lot of people were saying in the comments, oh, Merlino's a boss. He can't be fighting and this and that. Then you shouldn't have said what you said. You should have kept your mouth shut. Because you can't go, as a tough guy, Blaine, like, come, I want you to come, blah, blah, blah. I'll be there. Me and Snuff are going to be there. That's not you say you're a man of your word. That's not a man of your word. Like, Hootie came there with his own nutsack by himself. That proved, to me, Hootie earned my respect. Like, I think everybody that's real should be followed. And I don't condone, rats or any of that shit. But I'm saying, as a man, how can you not respect that? He here, and a lot of people in the comments are like, yeah, but, he's probably with the government. Blah, blah. They got all the excuses. They got every single fucking excuse when it comes to this shit. Then Joey Merlino should have fell back and said, you know what, I'm not going to call them out. I don't want them to come, blah, blah, blah. Listen, if they're swinging at them first, right, and and it's all going live, right, he couldn't have thought he was going to toll too much, because why would he even have other people do that? I really believe that Merlino should have confronted Hootie along with Snuff. You can't talk that shit from the internet, say, well, we're gonna be there, blah, 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 then have this black dude that who the hell would, how the hell would Hootie know who's who, right? Not only that, they blindside Hootie, right? And then the big dude that's always with Merlino, right, blindsides him, right? So he's basically getting jumped, because then now you got all the people that they want something from Merlino, so they're gonna put on that work. They're gonna be busting that grape because they want to have some wine at the end of it. So they want to get some reward to showing the loyalty to Merlino, right? So they're gonna be going in at Hootie, right? They're gonna be, that's the punk move too. When you're on the ground, everybody wants their free kick, blah, 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 right? Listen, Hootie earned my respect. I don't care. You could talk about his past. I'm gonna keep it a buck. He earned my respect. He went into their place, right? Their vicinity, right? And they couldn't even be a man. He went in there with his own 2 balls, his own 2 nutsack. He didn't have anybody with him. Went by himself. You can't get more gangster than that, bro. You want to talk about all this gangster shit online? You can't get more gangster than that, bro. The only thing that wasn't gangster on Hootie's part is he brought a camera to go film it. You know what I mean? He should have somebody else do that. And, you know, blah, blah, blah. But, hey, listen. You can't get more you can't get more gangster than what Hootie did. You know what I mean? Going to somebody else's vicinity, somebody else's stand, knowing that they're going to have tons of people there by himself. By himself. Joey can't be talking, oh, I want you to come, blah, blah, blah. So now it almost sets the precedence when Barello goes, he's going to get jumped. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a fair one-on-one with Merlino or Snuff. That basically shows that if Gene does go, I think that's why Joey did it. Almost like, if you catch me, you know, I got people looking out for me, blah, blah, blah. Don't come near me or else you're going to get it. I think that was more of a message to Gene. Don't try to come near here or else we're going to jump you. You know what I mean? I think that's what it was. I think he wanted to send a message more to Gene that, listen, I'm not going to be fighting I'm not going to be fighting blah, blah, blah. He's got these people online that are having his back saying he's a mob boss, blah, blah, blah. He wouldn't be fighting. What did Hootie think? Blah, blah, blah. Listen, then Joey shouldn't have said, we're going to be there. We're going to confront them. Me and Snuff. You can't talk that on the internet. I don't care what you did. Nobody cares what you did in your past. It's here and now. That's a street thing. Nobody cares what you did. You know, everybody can talk all this, blah, 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 right? It's what you're doing now, right? Do you still need somebody to hold your balls now, or are you gonna fight your own fights? You know what I mean? That's that. You know, even though like a lot of people they talk shit about Gene. Listen, the realest people in the mob, from my perspective, were the associates, like a Gene. You know what I mean? Like the people that you know might not been a full Italian, maybe they're, you know, I don't know, whatever the fuck, right? Or you know, listen, the realest people in the mob, from my perspective, were the associates, the people trying to get put on. You know what I mean? The mob bosses ain't doing shit. The capos ain't really doing shit. You know what I mean? They're using these people to do the dirty work, right? Like a John Veazey. You know what I mean? But, yeah, Hootie, you know, you guys can say what you want. You guys can talk shit. You guys can pick sides. I don't care. I have no skin in the game. I call it the way I see it. And Hootie earned my respect because he, you know, he did what he said he's going to do. They didn't follow through. And that's a win on my part. Where I come from, that's a win for Hootie. I don't care if any dummy could have 5 or 10 people beat up one person. What's that prove? What's that prove? No, seriously, what does that prove? That, to me, that makes you look like a coward, like you're a punk. If you need somebody to hold your nutsack and you know, but I think that was more of a message to Gene. That was to get inside Gene's head. That was like, all right, you come too. If you come too, the same thing's going to happen to you. But if they go next time, they got to have, you know, because, you know, when you go to Merlino, when you go to Merlino's vicinity, he's got people that are ready to put in work for him just to be part of his inner circle, right? So they're all vying for that spot. And that's a dangerous spot to be in when people are yes men around you, because they all want to prove their loyalty, right? So if Gene ever went to the steak shop, he'd be getting hit from every angle. It wouldn't be a fair fight. I believe Gene would get Merlino one-on-one, right? Or Snuff, right? So they're not going to fight him one-on-one. They're not going to fight fair, right? So that was all a set of precedents. That Hootie, when they jump Hootie, that was a message to Gene. You know what I mean? All right. Take care, guys. God bless.